So, what is this device that I'm so excited to show you guys today, right? Well, the MaonoCaster. The MaonoCaster is a podcasting device, but if you can manipulate your live stream to use this device, you won't be disappointed. If you watched some of my previous videos, then you would know that I switched over from the Go XLR Mini to the Beacon Mix Create. And in doing so, I needed to get myself a different audio interface. Now, I went with a traditional audio mixer. The mixer was great. I don't want anyone to think that it wasn't. The mixer itself provided to me most of the stuff that I needed. Where I found problems was being able to change those settings on the fly. When you're doing a live stream, you don't have time to fumble around and look for how to change certain things. You need something that's really quick and intuitive. This device, the MaonoCaster, not only, guys, is less than my FX mixer was, but it also provides to me all of those things. This wasn't designed for the way I'm using it, but I'm still telling you that this device is great for live streaming or podcasting. Let me explain to you how you can benefit from doing something like this. So, in order to fully understand the MaonoCaster, you kind of need to know what all it can do. So, I'm sitting in my backyard right now, recording via the audio on my MaonoCaster and video on my phone. Now, what I can do with that is now, by having the MaonoCaster to my right here, I can change different things, like pitch, for example.
I can take my pitch super high, like this.
Or I can take my pitch crazy deep, like this. But let's say you don't want to go super extreme, and you just want to give yourself a little bit more bass. So you can change it just a little bit. Or maybe you're someone who already has a super deep voice, and you want to lighten it up a bit. You can bring it a little bit down, like this. Another benefit that you have by having this next to you is you can add things like reverb. So now I've added some reverb onto my audio. Why? I don't know, because I can. You can do that if you choose to, or if it doesn't benefit you, you don't have to. A few of the other features that you have available to you are sound effects. So let's say you're someone who does funny videos or funny vlogs, and you want to have some sound effects added into your video. You can add those at the push of a button. Another benefit that you can do is you can connect this device to your tablet and then play audio via your tablet into your MaonoCaster, into your video recorder, while also still continuing to vlog. So you can have light background music playing while you do your vlog or while you control a podcast. Now, you can also use this device if you want to create some short content like TikToks or YouTube Shorts. With doing that, you would have all of the audio routing through your MaonoCaster going into your video device for you to kind of manipulate that however you choose.
Here we are back at my desk, so I can finish telling you how the MaonoCaster is great for live streaming. Currently, I'm using the MaonoCaster right now in my setup. It's what you're hearing my microphone through at this current time. Now, if you wanted to know kind of how this MaonoCaster was working while we were outside, if I was connected to a power jack or if it was powered independently, it was fully charged from being connected to its DC 5V 3.0 USB power adapter, one of the connections that exist on the back of this device. Now, the other connections that exist on the back of this device is the initial power button for the device, which turns it on or off when it's on battery power. The lighting mechanism, which turns your RGB lighting on or off on the front of the device. The power jack, of course, which is DC 5V. The USB-C, which would go from this device over to your computer. It has two live outputs, which connect to your phone or a tablet. Now, I'll be honest, I don't fully understand the two live outputs to a phone, but we can get into that a little bit further as I discuss some of the things that I think are negative. It has one monitor speaker output, which you can connect to external speakers, or you can connect to any other device that you would like to push that audio out to. For me, I use that for my headphones. I connect my headphones to the monitor speakers device instead of the headphones jack on the front. Another line is the aux in. Now, the aux in, how you use it is completely up to you. One cool way that you can use the aux in is you can connect your tablet over to the MaonoCaster and play music from your tablet into the MaonoCaster that can be distributed out to your audience, either on video or a live stream. It also has a 3.5 millimeter microphone jack. Now, you do need to make sure that if you have a second microphone that's going to be connected to this device that's not an XLR, it needs to have a 3.5 millimeter jack on the end in order to work with this device. Now, if you're an instrument lover and you would like to plug in an instrument while also recording on this device, it has an instrument jack on the back of the panel as well that can also be controlled with a knob on the front of the device. There are two additional connectors on this device that sit on the front side of the panel. Those are your headphone jacks. You have two different headphone jacks, so if you wanted to do more like a podcast or an interview, you can put headphones in both of those jacks for you and whoever it is that you're working with in your podcast or your interview. And then the last connection, of course, is the XLR microphone connector. Now, this would be what I'm currently using right now while speaking to you through my MaonoCaster. I have my microphone, which is connected via XLR to the MaonoCaster, pushed out to my computer. Now, of course, with any device out there, it has its fair share of flaws. So let's go over some of those so you kind of understand what those might be. Number one, the sound effects buttons. The sound effects buttons have a delay, meaning when you press the button, there's a 1, 2, or 3 second pause before your audio would actually play. Now, the way you record your audio in is by holding down the sound button and then playing your audio after the light starts flashing. But when you play back that audio, sometimes there's a 2-3 second delay before your actual audio is played. Number two for me, there's a lot of options in one button. For example, the auto-tune function and the reverb function. Reverb has 5 different options inside of one button. And in order to get to number 5, you have to go through the first 4. I kind of dislike this because if you want to use reverb number 3 or 4, you kind of have to pass through the other reverbs to get there. So it does make doing things quick a little bit slower. My third negative is denoise. Denoise acts as a background noise limiter. So when you're talking into your microphone, typically when you activate a microphone, you pick up surrounding sounds around you. So if someone was sitting around me speaking, when I started speaking, you would typically hear their audio as well. This also goes for key presses. For a gamer who's doing a live stream, then you typically hear keys being pressed in the background whenever you don't have anything blocking that background noise. Denoise tries to handle this, but the denoise is very sharp and can't be adjusted. So right now I've been speaking to you with denoise off, but most of this video where I've been using the MaonoCaster has been with denoise on. And you might notice that it's a little bit clearer now than it was before. Now, if I was to press denoise currently, you'll notice that as I'm speaking, it's a little bit sharper where it cuts me off in my audio. It might even be taking off last pieces of my word in order to make sure that it gets a sharp cutoff. You'll also notice that now, if I'm tapping in the background on my desk, you might not hear it as much. But as soon as I take denoise off, you might hear me tapping in the background a little bit more on my desk. That's kind of what denoise does. My only complaint about denoise is that it's very sharp and that there isn't an adjustment knob to kind of fine tune it the way that you would want in a stream. That brings us to number 4, which is by far the worst negative for me with this device, and that's the dual output on the back of the device. The dual output on the back is designed to go either to your phone or to a tablet. Now, for me, I do not understand the reason of dual outputs to a phone or to a tablet. It doesn't make sense to me. I wouldn't want to push my audio to both devices at the same time. So for me, I would much prefer one of those outputs is just a normal output that I can send my audio somewhere completely different. Now, I attempted to use both of those different outputs to send my audio to a second PC to see if it was possible to separate my microphone audio from my gaming PC and my streaming PC. And with all attempts, all the magic in the world, I could not get it to work. Now, I don't want to leave you on a bad note, so I want to tell you a few of the positives that you should know about as well. Number 1 being mobility. The mobility of this device is unique. It's nothing else out there that's similar to what this can do. You can take full good content audio on the go with you wherever you go. Second, the ease of use. The device itself is very much plug and play. It's very easy to set up, it's very easy to understand, and it's very easy to get used to using while live streaming. Third, the adaptability. I was able to take this, replace a mixer that I had, connect this into an integrated system of the Beacon Mix Create, and make audio work through a second PC. If that isn't adaptable for a podcasting device, I don't know what is. Number 4, and probably the best one of them all, cost. At the time of shooting this video, this device cost $103. Now, I looked across the board at multiple devices, and most of the ones that offers you half of the capabilities of this or all of the capabilities of this are double, triple, and even more. It also sits in its own space. It's not necessarily a mixer, and it's also not necessarily an audio recorder, but it kind of takes the two and blends them into one solid device that maybe takes a little bit away from what you would get from a traditional mixer, and then takes a little bit away from what you would get from a traditional audio recorder. Big streamers and content creators may be quick to push you to very expensive devices, but something like this is sitting behind the scenes and is extremely affordable. Well, that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. As a reminder, I do stream live to this channel, typically on Mondays and Thursdays. I try to mix in another stream or two during the week as time permits. If you want to stay up to date on videos like this that get released or my live stream, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification on the side, and you'll get all of the updates as they come out. Until the next video, deuces. 'Cause that's what it takes.